Hey guys, Snick500 and welcome back to the channel. Doing something a little different today. I've seen a lot of other channels putting out videos about what module you should buy for DCS World. While there's a lot of great information out there, my opinion is just a little bit different, and I thought I would share it. For the purpose of this discussion, I'm assuming that you have seen videos about DCS World and want to get into it. That's it. You have downloaded the game and you are here. Let's start with the first thing that you should buy. A HOTAS. That would be a flight stick and a throttle. Hands-on throttle and stick. That's what HOTAS stands for. Could you play this game with a mouse and keyboard? You know, I've heard rumors and seen some evidence that it's possible. I have even seen people air-to-air refuel a skill I do not currently have. Do it with a mouse and keyboard. These people are insane and from another planet. There are a lot of cheap options out there in the used market as well, where you can get a good starting point. I got my first HOTAS used, and I still use that stick today. I would avoid getting a top-of-the-line, brand-new, greatest thing at the moment flight stick and throttle. Not because they're bad, because they're absolutely not. But if you don't like DCS or it's too hard, the $500 or more you're spending on it would be a waste. So now what? You got a flight stick and throttle, you got the game. What should you buy, right? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The game comes with two aircraft that you really should play around with for a while. The Su-25T and the TF-51D. Now, the Su-25T is the Soviet-era ground-pound aircraft. Think of the A-10 if you were to take away the bird. It's twin-engine, and it can teach you a lot about in the training missions that apply to other jets. The TF-51D is the trainer for the P-51 Mustang. It's not as good as the Su-25 for weapons training, but everyone should experience a warbird to see how they fly. What you learn here goes a long way in helping in all the other warbirds, and even the tactics that you use when you're doing air-to-air combat. So you've flown them around, done the training missions, and you are ready for the next step, right? Let me point you to the 100% free community mods, like the A4EC Skyhawk and the T45 Goshawk. Now, the A4 is a great mod that is fun to fly. Remember the original Top Gun, the plane that Jester and Viper flew? Well, that's the Skyhawk. The Blue Angels used it for a while, so it can be a lot of fun to have. And it also has a clickable cockpit, air-to-air ground radar, strike anti-radiation missiles, and carrier landing and takeoff. It is fantastic for this. Now, the T-45 was... I'm not 100% sure. At the moment, the U.S. Navy used it for carrier quals for decades. Zero weapons, but a great free mod to work on getting on the carrier. Of the two, I spent more time in the T-45 than the A-4, and I loved it. It's a fun little plane. So now you're hooked, right? You have mastered the air and are ready for more. And you're still asking what you should get. Well, let me point you to Flaming Cliffs 3. But Snick, they're not full fidelity, I hear you whining. You're right, they're not. You can't click on the switches, and they aren't as cool. 100% correct. But what it lacks in features, it more than makes up for in bang for your buck. And that's kind of what we're talking about here. Full price, it's $50. There are sales literally all the time almost. And it's like 50% off what it is on sale. So now we're talking down to $25. And for that $25, not only do you get the A-10A, the F-15C, the full version of the Su-25, the MiG-29 A, S, and G variants, the J-11A, the Su-27, and the Su-33. That's 9 planes that average out to $2.70 a piece. This does not count the number of free mods that require one of them to be able to use, like the F-22 or the SR-71, and there's 100 more that I could mention. FC3 is also a great graphical update that it just got, and they look absolutely amazing. Now, have I mentioned the Clickable-Cockpit mod that you can download for free for the Flaming Cliffs and then use it in your games? Might be my favorite mod in the game. Still here, huh? You want to know what big boy toy to spend your hard-earned money on, huh? All right. Get this one. Snick, that's a black screen. You can't see anything. That's because your eyes are closed. You are dreaming about one plane that got you hooked into a game like DCS. Maybe it's the FA-18 or the F-14. Maybe you love the MiG-15 or the Harrier. Get that plane first. You have to love it a little before you learn it. And otherwise you're going nowhere fast. It will frustrate you, annoy you, and yes, it will kill you 100 times before you get the hang of it. Even after all that time you spent on the free mods that we talked about earlier, it's still going to kill you and frustrate you. You have to love it so when it does something you don't like, you can forgive her. Then she does something cool and you're reminded why you love her. Get that plane. Then take what you learn from that and what you experience with that and get your next plane. Now, that being said, if you want to fly at treetop level, playing Fortunate Son over the jungle with door gunners, or maybe you want to be screaming, I am the greatest, while you're shooting everything down an Apache, you're going to need rudder pedals. That's just highly, highly recommended for that. So there you go, guys and girls. My 2 cents on the stuff and the planes that you should get for DCS World. If you don't like what I have to say, no problem. They are, after all, my opinions. And opinions, like trash cans, everyone has one, and they all stink. Snick 500. I'll see you in the next one.